Hello, and welcome to Philip Brown's Computer Networking Lab. You're watching the instructional video called The Basics of Switching. A switch is a device that filters and forwards packets between local LAN segments. It works at level 2 of the iOS model, using MAC addresses rather than IP addresses to identify the devices. All switches can send and receive packets so as not to disturb other subnetworks that do not need to receive the packet. This reduces network traffic congestion. We are now looking at 4 computers connected together by a switch. We can also view the terminal window for computer 1. When computer 1 attempts to ping computer 4, the packets first leave computer 1 and is processed by the switch. The first thing that the switch does is memorize the source MAC address of the packet and the port that it came from. In other words, the switch puts computer 1's MAC address and the fast Ethernet 0/1 in its database. The switch then uses a technique called filter or flood, meaning that if it knows the port that the destination MAC address is connected to, it will send the packet through to that address. It will send the packet through that port. But if it does not know which port the destination MAC address is connected to, the switch will send copies of the packet through every port other than the one that it came from. Since the switch does not know which port number 4's MAC address is connected to, the switch floods every port with a copy of the packet except the port that it came through, computer 1's port. Since this particular packet is an address resolution protocol packet, computer 2 and computer 3 will ignore the packet because they do not have the same IP address contained in the ARP packet. When computer 4 receives the packet, it will send an ARP reply packet back to computer 1. When the switch gets the packet from computer 4, the switch will memorize the source MAC address of the ARP reply packet and the port that it came from. Now it knows which port has computer 4 MAC address. Since the switch already learned the port connected to computer 1's MAC address, it does not need to bother to flood the other ports with copies of the packet. The switch then sends it directly to computer 1. Now, whenever computer 1 and computer 4 needs to exchange information, the switch is able to send it directly without flooding using their MAC addresses. By default, a switch is ready to use without additional configuration. More complex programming switches can use features such as VLAN, trunking, and spanning tree to set up a network that is highly available, secure, and redundant. We have just demonstrated how switches use MAC addresses to send data packets from one device to another. I hope this video was informative, and I thank you for viewing.